Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the backstory. I hope you're enjoying your holidays. And if you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified when we post a new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's just 4 days to the beginning of a new year. And in the political circles, the opposition leader Raila Odinga, who is the former prime minister, has sent a very chilling message to William Ruto, telling him to act now and sort out the issue of cost of living, which is affecting so many Kenyans, or else he will mobilize Kenyans to go back to the streets, or what we call MAANDAMANO in Swahili. That story is captured in today's Standard newspaper, where the headline reads, Opposition, our plan for next year. Opposition, our plan for next year. And they've talked about Raila firing a warning shot to government to reduce the cost of living or face mass protests. Raila also plans to revamp his party and strengthen Azimio to keep President Ruto in check. So Raila was in Western, and I want you to listen in to the video where he told President Ruto to act now, or else we're going to back to Maandamano.
You need to employ teachers properly, permanent and pensionable, not on contract. Put proper money in education, and then you also underpay the teachers and overtaxing them. This itself has got consequences in terms of lowering the standard of education in our country. So we need to put more money in education, and then also ensure that there's transparency and there's no rigging even in education. When there was a situation where school children have to go to court to demand to be told the proper result that they received in an examination, something is terribly wrong. Something is terribly wrong. This government has failed Kenyans in virtually all other departments, because education is the key. We say that we have fundamental human rights in our country. Fundamental rights. The right to life. The right to good health. The right to food. The right to shelter. The right to quality education. That is why we said in our manifesto that when the Azimio government comes to power, we will ensure that all our children, from nursery to primary, secondary to university, will go to education, to school, without paying any fees. Yes, and we knew where the money was going to come from, and we really meant it. But now we have a crisis. They grab power, but they do not know what to do with that power. Now they don't know what to do with education. We are now going to begin open schools next month, in a few days' time. There's going to be chaos. You don't know how much fees the children are going to be asked to pay. You don't know primary, secondary, you have got 100% transition. You don't know university. You're being told some students will pay, some will pay nothing, some will pay something, some will pay full fees. Now you know, where's the yardstick? How are you going to know that this child comes from a family where the parents are able and these other ones are not able? Children are treated equally in the United States, in the UK, all over the world, equally. Because you don't know how to do means tests. How are you going to be able to look for parents and know these parents are earning money, these parents are able, and so you may be even earning a salary, but all the salary is committed. So you cannot be saying that because the parents are earning salary, the student must pay fees. It is something that's supposed to be, is going to be very arbitrary, and there's going to be chaos. And chaos is the name of this government. This is called Kenya Krishna. Because they lie all the times. They lie all the times. Kenya Krishna lies all the times. In the country called Kenya, we are fighting for a better future. We are fighting so that our men and women, our young men and women, should find a prosperous nation that they can be proud of. We want a nation where our women and children will feel safe and secure. This is not what you promised the Republic of Kenya. You cannot lie to the people. You cannot promise oranges and you're giving people bitter pill. That cannot work in the Republic of Kenya.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the issue of the cost of living that is affecting so many Kenyans is a story that will not go away if it is not tackled by the Kenya Kwanza administration. And I thought that after the NADCO report, Kenya Kwanza administration was going to come up with an elaborate plan on how they were going to reduce the cost of living, so that they would use this plan to kind of demobilize the opposition in a way. Because one key issue that the opposition wrote on heading to the NADCO team report was the issue of cost of living. And if you watch keenly, that issue of cost of living almost split Azimio in the middle. There was the Martha Karua camp and Uhuru Kenyatta camp who've been insisting that the NADCO report did not address the key issue, which was cost of living, while Raila and his team insisted that they'd made some gains with the report. But now that Raila is buying the idea of pushing Ruto to address the issue of the cost of living, then it means the main issue, which was kind of bringing a split in Azimio, is now uniting them. So if Azimio can use the issue of cost of living to appeal to the Kenyans' emotions, because right now so many Kenyans are pressed financially, and in the next 10 or so days, Kenyans are taking their kids back to school. And the implication is that, one, schools will most definitely raise school fees. Because one, the cost of food products has gone high. Cost of fuel or electricity has increased. And the teachers will most definitely pass those costs to the parents. So we have parents who are already struggling, parents who are unable to take their children to school, parents who will struggle to even pay school fees. So when that issue will be raised by the opposition, I think it will appeal to the masses, and most definitely people will buy into the idea of going back to the streets. And this time, if the government does not take it seriously, it's something that might have a ripple effect in the whole country. So that is something that the current regime needs to put a lot of emphasis on and address. And the main elephant in the room here is the cost of fuel. Now, the Kenya Kwanza administration has been talking about, they have been boasting about the fact that they've reduced the cost of fertilizer from 7,000 shillings to around 2,500 shillings, which is a good gesture to the farmers. Remember, Kenya, we are dependent on rain-fed agriculture. So we might have a bumper harvest now or this season, but the question is, what happens next year in case we have drought? Will the low cost of fertilizer affect the cost of maize? No, it will not. What will affect the cost of other products is the high cost of fuel, because fuel remains a key input in any sector of the economy, in any production. That same story has been captured in the Standard newspaper, the same Standard newspaper, today's Standard newspaper. And they're talking about maize farmers ask for better prices and more subsidies to make profit. So it means, however much we've reduced the cost of fertilizer, farmers are still feeling the effect. They are not getting the margin of profit that they expected because the cost of fuel is still high. And what they are calling on the government to do, they're saying here at farmers in North Rift say cost of production still high due to fuel prices. So it gets back to what I was talking about, which is fuel being the key input in any production, key input in any sector of the economy. Look at all sectors all around: transportation, manufacturing, all that is affected by the high cost of fuel. So however much the Kenya Kwanza administration is boasting about this, it is kind of short-lived. What they need to work on is to look at ways of reducing the cost of fuel. Reduce the taxation, the 16% taxation on fuel, reduce it to 8% if possible. Then let Kenyans enjoy the effect of the reduction, whereby the prices of products will come down. Then Kenyans will have disposable income that they can use in other areas of the economy. Having that purchasing power is very important, because when Kenyans have the purchasing power, they'll be able to buy products from different manufacturers. These manufacturers, in return, get profits out of the increased sales volume. When they get profit out of the increased sales volume, the government will in return get money out of taxation. These companies, when they make money, they're able to employ. Kenyans, when they have disposable income, can venture into businesses. The net effect is that government will be able to make money out of all this easing that happens within the economy. But when the economy shrinks, when the disposable income of Kenyans shrink, then it means companies will start, which they're already doing, they will start shedding off some of the employees because they are not making profit. In return, there will be no revenue. The government will not get revenues from tax which is levied on the profits. That has like a spiraling effect in the whole economy. So currently, what the Azimio leaders or the opposition leaders are talking about will appeal to all Kenyans, be it the middle class Kenyans who are feeling the effects, those are the employed who have been affected by the increased taxation on what we call the housing fund, the universal healthcare levies, increased taxation on fuel and all that. The middle class has been hit the hardest by Ruto's regime. Then there is the common man down here who are also suffering. So when Azimio leaders will call for mass action, it is something that will appeal to almost everyone in the country. So the earlier William Ruto's regime addresses this, the better for the whole country. because it will, when the opposition calls for mass action, it will appeal to almost everyone in the whole country. Because guys are pressed, guys are going through hard times, and whatever action that will be called, they might buy into the idea. But now the problem is, if they buy into the idea, it's like we're not getting out of the problem. Because maandamano or demonstrations will still affect different sectors of the economy, be it transportation, be it, call it which sector that you want to call it, will be affected by maandamano. So however long it will take, that will still have a spiraling effect in the economy. So what Kenya Kwanza administration needs to do is to act on the issues that have been raised by Kenyans, stop taxing Kenyans so much, look for other sources of revenue within the economy. Just do the way Kibaki did. Kibaki, what he did, it stopped borrowing locally. He looked for cheaper loans outside, eased up money so that Kenyans had a lot of disposable income that they used to set up businesses. The economy became very active. They got a lot of revenue out of the taxation. And they broadened the taxation bracket in a way that they were able to generate a lot of revenue through taxation. So there are different ways of broadening the taxation bracket, not only through increasing tax, but you can also let guys have disposable income, set up businesses, let them have purchasing power, make businesses make a lot of profit. If they make profit, you gain as a government through taxation of their profit. So that's my parting shot today, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Kenya Kwanza administration need to act on this before we get back to where we were like a year before. That's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, from me. If you have any feedback, comment on the video down below. You can also reach us on our social media platforms. Until next time,